Hello, class. So, last week you modeled your house or the house that I gave you, or possibly a house on your own because you did have that leeway. And in this, we're going to have a series of videos that looks at applying materials in SketchUp, and ultimately, we're going to be getting to a point where we're sort of rendering this in Photoshop. But still, this is still very SketchUp focused. In this video, I'm gonna break up the materials into a couple components to make it easy. In this one, I'm just going to go over the basics of applying materials. I think most students probably already know how to do that. It's pretty straightforward and easy. But what they might not realize is that even though you sort of have some limited materials in SketchUp, there's actually a lot of flexibility there. And the two really easy things to do in SketchUp is change the materials color and change the material size and rotation. And so I can get a lot of variety out of SketchUp's built-in materials just by doing those two transformations to get this exactly the way I want to and exactly matching the rendering of these houses that we already did. But I'm going to do that in another video, or follow-up video. There's probably two. I'm going to do one that just shows you how to do the color and one that shows you how to do that. The only other thing I might talk about in this video briefly is talking about windows and transparencies and stuff because actually no, I guess I'll do that in a different video. So anyway, to do a material, basically all you do is you go to your paint bucket and it pulls up your material tabs over here automatically, and you can see this one happened to come up on wood. I was probably on wood last time. Yours might be default colors, but under this pull down I've got lots of different options. So I can, asphalt concrete, I can go to synthetic surfaces, for whatever, I can do to stone. It looks like various stone and various things like that. So if we start sort of simple, I might go to landscaping and vegetation, because I'll just do the grass first, right? And you can pick one of these grasses that you might like. I don't know. I think I'll go with this one. Actually, I like sort of like a light yellowy green usually, and we're actually going to get rid of this eventually in Photoshop anyway. So I'm going to go here, and in this case, my grass is in a group, so I have to double click to enter the group. So then I can go back to Paint Bucket, select my material, and you essentially click. And there it is. It's that green. And in this view, it's a little hard to see that's grass, but if I zoomed in, we can, of course, see that it's got little grass textures and things. And I know SketchUp isn't the best at rendering materials and lighting compared to some other software, but we're going to look at a lot of Photoshop tricks coming up that will really help about that. Let me close that tab. We don't need that. That'll really help. And the reality is, it's all very similar depending on the model and stuff. So you're going to go ahead and do that for all your materials. So I might come to siding, might do the siding neck, which is a big one, and I'm going to go to siding, and I'm going to select this siding. And we notice that in the AutoCAD drawing, the siding is vertical. This siding happens to be horizontal. That's something that I will adjust in another video, and that's the point. Is it's not the color. It probably doesn't match the building that you wanted to do in your elevations that you already started to render, and it might not be the same orientation, but those two things are changeable. So I'm going to select on this. I'm going to double click inside the group, and I'm going to paint this on where I might have that siding. Now you might have a case where in my CAD file of this one, this siding is different. It is horizontal, so you might have to make this group a second time, and I can come into my home, which shows all the materials I already have, and we can see I've already done this. But if I go to this button here, I can create material, and I can create a second version of it and say okay. We can see it added that copy there because I want to copy that here, and that's my case. You'll see this as we sort of go through the series of videos, that this siding and this siding is not the same. So I'm not going to do the entire thing right now, but you might come through here and you might go to do some of this brick. This is brickwork here, so I can come back to this thing and choose brick and choose a good brick. I'm not sure which one I used in the finalized model, but I'll go ahead and go with this antique one for now, and go ahead and do that. You're going to go ahead and do the brick. There's brick over here in this chimney in the back, but I'm not going to do it all. You might go to do something like glass for the windows, and I'm going to talk about this. Lots of people like to use this blue one by default. I really hate it. I actually hate all the glass in here, but I'm going to start out with this dark gray one, and I can't remember if I did make some of these windows when I did it groups, so I had to double click inside that group to select that, and again I would do that for all of these. Actually, a good way of doing windows, since I have the frame in here, what I want to first do is paint the frame color, because the frame's got lots of surfaces and it's hard to go to. So I might go to colors, and I'm going to select, I'm going to make my frames black just to be easy. But you can see it also changed the glass. So then, whoops, I didn't mean to double click outside of that. So then what I'll do now is I'll go to glass and go to this gray, and boom, boom, boom. And so you see that. So you can see, because like all of this is lots of surfaces, so I had to do that. So it's an easier way of doing that. You know, and I might come through and select the trim, and the trim might just be a paint color. So I might, oops, yeah, there we go. I might just pick a paint color. I don't know what I use. I'll pick silly orange for now, just to sort of throw that paint color on there. And the roof, same thing. I might come through and select the roof. I'll just I might select it all and pick a color for sort of the fascia and whatnot, and maybe I'll just make it a light gray. But what I might do then is, this is going to be a standing seam metal roof, so I can go to metal, I believe. Is it metal? Maybe there's roofing. Yeah, there is roofing actually. I can go to roofing, and I'm going to pick this standing seam metal roof. Again, I don't care if red was not the color I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and use it for now. And you're going to go and apply materials, colors to all of this. Now, I don't particularly care. You can go and do it and apply materials to the interior as well, maybe just the floor. You don't need a lot, but go ahead and apply materials to everything. And if I sort of, boom, jump ahead, this happens to be a finalized version where you can see I literally do have materials applied to everything. I actually started a couple step aheads on this one, so don't worry that this doesn't exactly match my previous one. But for now, we'll talk about that. Just get everything sort of colored the way you need it to be colored. Just apply materials at this stage. We'll follow up in videos about how to change the color and how to change orientation and things like that.